My name's Ken McGill. I'm a filmmaker and an educator, and I work at Ramsbourne University. Being a Londoner since the mid-80s, I've got used to the commute in London, and it's certainly different from any other part of the country. I think everyone's obsessed with one thing: can I get a seat? Then it's a case of what am I going to do to kill the time, right, between now and having to get off the train. With me, I'll play a game. 9 times out of 10, I'll play solitaire. And that's what I'll do all the way to my next stop. Occasionally you miss your train, but that happens very rarely. I believe in unconscious creativity. This idea that the brain does a lot of the creative work for you. The best state to be in is some sort of, slightly, not a stupor, but you're actually engaged in something that you don't have to think too much about. So that's why I play solitaire. So on the final walk, after I get off the train, then things start to come together. Okay, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. Why don't I do it like this?
My name is Nathaniel Mcauley. I am one of the teachers of English here at London School. I'm really into stand-up comedy actually, so I listen to a lot of podcasts from Irish comedians. I listen to an awful lot of audiobooks as well. I'm not doing that in reading, so I mostly read play scripts at the moment. I usually get through a play script or two maybe in a week. It did take a little while and a couple of mechanisms I had to put in place for myself to make sure that was a time of the day that wasn't wasted for a start, because 2 hours out of the day when you're awake for 16 of them is quite a lot to lose, to be honest.
I'm Lola. I'm a film student. I'm very tired all the time. This is going to sound real pretentious, but I draw people on just random people. I usually do it in the mornings to try and get me awake, but it's just something I've been doing for a while, and if they're there and they catch my eye, I'm like, oh yeah, you'll do, and I'll just draw them for a bit. If they move, that's very selfish of them, but you just got to kind of carry on, then you find someone else. So I guess it kind of improves drawing quickly, or drawing different aspects of people.
The biggest obsession I have with commuting is getting there as quickly as humanly possible. So I'll go out in the morning, I'll time a particular route, take a note of it. Next day I'll try a slightly different route, and if it's shorter, I'll use that route, even if it's 10 seconds shorter. I think that goes back to my days in the army when it was all about, everything had to be organised. Nothing is taken for granted, nothing's taken. You don't take a chance on anything.
Again, another thing I learned very, very quickly: have your card in your hand when you're tapping through. I always have my card in my hand on the train, last stop, have it out. Because you get tutted at, you get kind of pushed out of the way, whatever, The time for changing routines is not particularly in the morning. In the afternoon, maybe, I love walking around London. Sometimes I'll walk down to Angel, or I might get a bus, just so I can kind of have a bit more of a look around the city.
Everyone just looks so miserable, so I don't know if they're happy. I think you're happiest when you get where you need to be, or if you get there with no interruptions, no nothing, there's no delays. It's like an unspoken rule. You don't really talk to people unless you're asking for directions, or just little things like that. You don't really interact unless you kind of have to.
Young guy sat down opposite me, and then I looked up and this lady came on. And I thought, she looks like she could probably use this seat more than I do. So I got up and offered her the seat. And at the same time, the young man got up to offer the seat. And she sat in the seat, hey mate, you can have my seat. So I sat in his seat. So that was rather nice. Then I thought for a minute, God, do I look that old? It's like chivalry is not dead.
Being social is probably not my first port of call. We left alone. I want to be left alone to work. And sometimes the tube can be relatively useful for that if it's not too busy.
I've got a weird commute. It's an odd time. There was a guy, he was in skin-coloured leotard and rainbow leg warmers, walking up and down the train carriage one day, just going, follow me on Facebook, my name's Tandoori Dick, and he fell off the platform, so that was fun.
From an anthropological point of view, there's a lot more that kind of connects people and divides people, which is lovely. I think biologically humans are very, very similar to in this side of the world than they would be any other part of the world. So they have the same needs and wants and all the rest of it.
And my dad, his famous line was, son, I just don't want you to grow up to be an arsehole. That was his thing. So be good, be polite, do the right thing, do the job to the best of your ability, no matter what that job is. And so that was his philosophy. Don't be an arsehole.